Hi, everyone. It's Brittany, and welcome to another episode of One Hot Mess. All right, so today we're going to continue reading The Greatest Secret. We are on chapter 2, and it is called The Greatest Secret Revealed. So close your eyes, you can't see it. So subtle your mind can't understand it. So simple you can't believe it. So good you cannot accept it. Why is it so few have discovered the truth? Why haven't the majority of us realized who we are? How can billions of people have missed something so vitally important to our happiness? We've missed discovering the greatest secret because of one small obstacle, a belief. Just a single belief has prevented us from making the greatest discovery we can make. That belief is that we are our body and our mind. You are not your body. We came into this world to be a body in order to learn that we are not a body. Just as you use a car to get from one location to another, your body is a vehicle you use to move around and to experience the world. If you have a car, you do not say you are the car. Why then, if you have a body, do you say you are the body? Being material, your body isn't conscious. It doesn't know it's a body, but you know it's a body. Your toe doesn't know it's a toe. Your wrist doesn't know it's a wrist. Your head doesn't know it's a head. And your brain has no idea it's a brain. But you know each and every part of your body. How could you be the body when you know all the different parts and yet not one of them knows you? It's probing questions like these that enabled the great beings of the past to unravel the mystery behind who we really are. We have forgotten what we are, and we have identified ourselves with objects. I am this body, therefore I'm going to die. You fear that if the body isn't, you are not. Believing you are just your body creates the biggest fear of humanity, the fear of death. When your body dies, you fear you will no longer exist. It's like a dark cloud hanging over your head. It's good news that you're not your body, because your body is going to come to an end one day, as all material things do. The world is completely made up of material things, and not one of those things will last, including your body, which appears and disappears throughout the process of birth and death. What you actually are never dies. What you truly are cannot die. The body will die, but the body is not what you are. You are not your mind. The voice in your head is not you, yet you've probably believed it is you for most of your life. While the voice in your head sounds like you, seems to know a lot about you, and has become very familiar to you, it's definitely not you. The voice in your head is your mind, and you are not your mind. The mind is a collection of thoughts that constantly appear and disappear. If there are no thoughts, then there are no mind. There is no mind. Mind is only thought. If you are a thought, let's say a frustrated thought, then you would disappear when the frustrated thought disappeared. You are not a thought, a sensation, or a feeling, because when they end, you would end too. But you're still here after they end. You're here before a thought. You are here before a feeling or sensation, and you remain perfectly intact after they're gone. It's fairly obvious when you look at it. Certainly, we do experience thoughts, feelings, and sensation, but we are none of those things. In some ways, it's easy to understand how we've missed seeing who we really are, because the body and mind are a very convincing combination. Our mind keeps up a constant rate of thoughts, most of which include the word I, as though the mind is us. And you may be surprised to learn that all of our bodily sensations come from the mind too, which reinforces our belief that we are our body. How others see you contributes to your sense of self. When things happen, they seem to happen to you, or you may bring them about. You care what happens because of its effect on you. You hold yourself with a wish to keep yourself safe and in a good light. You certainly do seem real. It's not that you don't have a body and a mind, it's just that they are not the real you. Just like your car, they are simply finely tuned instruments you are using to experience the material world. Identifying with the body and mind is the only thing that is covering up who you truly are. It is the misidentification that is veiling your true self. Are you really the person you think you are? The ego, the imagined self, the pretend self, the separate self, and the psychological self are a few of the names that teachers and sages have given for our mistaken identity. All of these descriptions refer to the body and mind that together make up what we call a person. When we refer to ourselves, most of us are referring to this person that we think we are. A person is what you experience, it is not what you are. Your personality is constantly changing. So, if your personality is you, which person are you? Are you the angry person, the loving person, the frustrated person, the irritated person, or the kind person? You probably think you are all of them, but you can't be all of them because if you were, the angry person would never disappear. It would always be here. Or if the frustrated person were really you, when the frustrated person disappeared, a bit of you would disappear with it. But that doesn't happen, does it? You're here before the angry person appears, and you're here after the angry person disappears. You're here before the frustrated person appears, and you're here after they disappear. Clearly, you are not. You're changing moods or personality. The biggest obstacle to discovering the truth of who we essentially are is the belief that I am a cluster of thoughts, memories, feelings, and sensations. Together, these form an illusory self or entity. The belief that I am this entity is the only obstacle. All our psychological problems are due to this imaginary self. It always comes down to mistaking ourselves for this. The person only seems to exist because of the persistent and unquestioned belief that there is an actual person here. But the person or ego cannot exist without the belief in it. It's only imagination. In truth, there is no person at all. The only resident of this house of the body is the pure self, which is what you are. The rest is all made up. There are not two tenants in this body. There's only ever been one. Belief in ego gives a sense of reality, but this is not a fact, only fiction. What's the problem with believing we're an ego or a person? We feel small and extremely vulnerable. We're afraid of bad things happening to us. We're afraid of illness, getting old, and dying. We're afraid of losing the things we have and not getting the things we want. We live in a state of lack, believing there's not enough money, not enough time, not enough energy, not enough love, health, or happiness, and not enough life. And even worse, we believe we are not enough. None of this is true. In fact, it is the very opposite of the truth. But we can never have true, lasting happiness while we hold on to the belief that we're only a person. The ego isn't who you are, but it makes so much racket you can't answer who you really are. If you keep it going, if you feed and water the ego, it's madness. I think everyone is suffering from person poison, living life too personally, perceiving life too personally, taking things too personally. When you're responding to life in a personal mode, it is a form of blindness. You don't see things in the correct light. You are most certainly experiencing a body, experiencing a mind, and having the experience of being a person. But these are actually the least parts of you, and ultimately they are not you because when they end, you do not end. Your thoughts, feelings, sensations, and beliefs seamlessly work together to convince you you're a person. We're all big pretenders. We're pretending we're very small. We're pretending we're very limited. We're pretending we're small. We're a small, limited person who is born, lives for a time, dies, and that's the end of us. But nothing could be farther from the truth. We could say that this imaginary character is exactly like a movie character. We know the actor playing the character exists, but does this movie character know that the actor exists? No, the movie character is imaginary. When you believe the voice in your head is who you are, you automatically believe everything it says. You believe all the thoughts that your mind generates. Thoughts like, I'm getting old, I'm too tired, I'm not good enough, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I'm not smart enough, I don't feel loved, I don't deserve it, I'm scared of dying, and I don't know what to do. These thoughts are all limitations imposed on you by your mind. Who you really are is unlimited, which means absolutely nothing has power over you. Everything about a person is the very opposite of who you really are. The person isn't perfect. The real you is perfect. The person is temporary and limited. The real you is permanent and unlimited. The person is born and dies. The real you is never born and never dies. The person is personal and unstable. The real you is impersonal and always stable. The person has changing moods. The real you is constant happiness and peace. There is only one way to have a blissful life with lasting happiness, and that is to know your true nature. There's only one way out of a life plagued with problems, negativity, and discord, and that is to know the truth of who you really are. There's no search to find the truth because it's what you already are. How could you search for yourself? It's only that the majority of us have been constantly looking away from our true selves rather than looking at who we truly are. Have you ever looked at one of those pictures where there are two images in the one picture? When you first look at the picture, you can see one image clearly, but at first you can't see the second image. You try, but the second image seems to elude you due to the fact you're focused on the first image. You have to change your perspective and soften your gaze ever so slightly to see the other image into view. For most of our lives, we've been looking at ourselves from the perspective that we are a body and mind, that we are a person. But to see clearly who we are, we have to shift our perspective ever so slightly. Let me ask you a simple question. Are you aware? Your answer must be yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be aware of the question I just asked you. Let me ask you again. Are you aware? Yes, you're aware. You were aware as a baby through your childhood, your teenage years, and throughout adulthood. You've been aware your entire life. Awareness is and has been the only constant in your life. Your body keeps changing, your mind keeps changing, thoughts, feelings, and sensations all keep changing. But the one thing that's never changed is your awareness of it all. And that awareness is who you really are. You are awareness. You're it, so close you cannot see it. You look through its eyes at the world around you. You are not a body, a mind, or a bundle of thoughts, feeling, memories, or sensations. You are the one who is aware of your body, your mind, your thoughts, feelings, memories, and sensations. You are awareness itself. The moment you meet awareness, something in you recognizes it. You're aware of reading this book. You're aware of the sounds around you. You're aware of the room you were in. You're aware of your body and the clothes on your body, your breathing and bodily sensations. In fact, you couldn't know or experience any of life at all without awareness. Awareness is what are aware of every single life experience you have. It's not the mind or the body that is aware of your life. You, the awareness that you are aware of the mind, thoughts, and the body, and anything you are aware of cannot be you. There's only one way to have a blissful life with lasting happiness, and that is to know your true nature. There's only one way out of a life plagued with problems, negativity, and discord, and that is to know the truth of who you really are. The real you is infinitely grand and glorious, whole, perfect, and in peace. And you are blinding yourself to this by assuming that you are a limited ego. Drop the blinder, the ego, and be forever in perfect peace and joy. When you have found yourself, you will have everything. Life is not about solving a lot of little problems because they will never end. Life points us to the one essential thing that has been overlooked, our own true and unchanging self. Mankind as a whole is living largely in the mistaken idea that we are fundamentally a person with a body as opposed to our true self. Have you ever looked at one of those pictures where there are two images in the one picture? When you first look at the picture, you can see only one image clearly, but at first, you can't see the second image. Try, but the second image seems to elude you due to your focus on the first image. You have to change your perspective and soften your gaze ever so slightly to see the other image into view. For most of our lives, we've been looking at ourselves from the perspective that we are a body and mind, that we are a person. But to see clearly who we are, we have to shift our perspective ever so slightly. Let me ask you a simple question. Are you aware? Your answer must be yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't be aware of the question I just asked you. Let me ask you again. Are you aware? Yes, you are aware. You are aware as a baby, through your childhood, your teenage years, and throughout adulthood. You've been aware your entire life. Awareness is and has been the only constant in your life. Your body keeps changing, your mind keeps changing. Thoughts, feelings, and sensations all keep changing. But the one thing that has never changed is your awareness of it all. You are awareness. You are it. It's so close you cannot see it. You look through its eyes at the world around you. When I say I, we've been conditioned to believe that we are referring to the body, when really I is referring to awareness. You are not a mind, body, or a bundle of thoughts, feelings, memories, or sensations. You are the one who is aware of your body, your mind, your thoughts, your feelings, memories, and sensations. You are awareness itself. The moment you meet awareness, something in you recognizes it. Awareness is what is aware of every single life experience you have. It's not the mind or the body that you are aware of your life. You are awareness. You are aware of the mind, thoughts, and the body, and anything you are aware of cannot be you. Just for a moment, imagine you have no body or mind. Take away your body, take away your mind, take away your name, take away your life story, which is your entire past. Take away all memory, beliefs, and thoughts, and notice what is left. What is left is simply awareness. The subtle thing that is overlooked is that everything is known directly by awareness, but it's assumed that everything is coming in through the mind. For instance, the common thing would be to say, I think, but actually, if it's looked at carefully, it's noticed that there is an awareness of thinking. So the thinking isn't who you are. There's something that is aware of thinking. You are the awareness that is aware of everything, the individual consciousness, our feeling. I am a person, a separate individual, a mind or soul confined within the limits of a body is merely an imagination, a false and distorted form of our pure consciousness. I am, but is nevertheless the root of all our desire and misery. The me that we imagine, we are just another thought. Our mind distorts the world we see by layering veils of thought and belief one over top of each other. Each mental veil distorts the world further and prevents us from seeing everything the way it really is. The mind will never discover who you are because the mind is the cover up of who you are. It's only by letting go of the mind that you will discover who you are. We are so used to knowing ourselves through our troubles, our dramas, and our obsessions that awake awareness, which is our true nature and our basic goodness, is hard to accept as our true identity. We are so smart and our lives are so complex that it's hard to believe that simply discovering awake awareness could be the solution to our suffering It's also hard to believe that the most important discovery is already here with us. We don't have to go on an odyssey to find it, earn it, or develop it. There is nothing wrong with the body or mind. The only problems that we identify are witnessing presence, consciousness with them. As long as we identify this witnessing presence with the body and the mind, there is no room for this presence to reveal itself in all its glory. When you ask yourself the question, am I aware? Immediately awareness is noticed. It didn't appear. It was always present. You simply took your attention from thinking and put it on awareness. And so you become or became consciously aware. Our bodies age, yet when people get older, they'll say they don't feel that they have aged and that they feel the same as they always have. They'll admit that their bodies feel older, but the one they feel themselves to be deep down doesn't feel like it has aged at all. Without realizing it, they are sensing the timeless awareness that they really are. Self-realization is to see that the changing appearances on the surface of life are arising within the permanent, ever stable awareness that one truly is and has only ever been. Consciousness or awareness is also known by some religions as the presence of God. When a person has a divine experience, an experience where they feel they were touched by God, the individual mind and ego drop, which then reveals awareness. There is a feeling of pure love, infinite peace, beauty, happiness, and bliss, which cannot be mistaken for anything but divinity. In many ways, the truth of life and ourself is actually the complete opposite to what we have been taught. Instead of looking outward to the world for happiness, for fulfillment, for answers and truth, we need to turn and look inward, because it's only in that direction that we will find everything we're looking for. Our breathtaking world and everything in it is meant to be enjoyed to the fullest, but the happiness, joy, love, peace, intelligence, and freedom that are awareness, your very true nature, can only be found within you. All right, guys. So next time we will continue with chapter 3, The Reveal Continued. All right, guys, that is it for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please be sure to hit that follow button and share One Hot Mess with a friend. And I'll talk to you guys next time.